Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Friday, at last. Friday, March the 27th. We are here to look at the rest of the cozy mysteries that were published this week. We started on Monday, we continued on Wednesday towards the end, and now here's the last 15 of them. And I didn't change my banner. There we go. There we go. Hi, Amy. Amy says, good morning, PK and everyone else. It's Friday. It is. You know, it hasn't been a horrible week, but it's just been accumulative. And I'm very glad. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Friday night. Our next ones are tomorrow afternoon, Saturday, at 3 p.m. Eastern. It goes for 5 hours. I believe we were here. Any plans for the weekend, Amy? Dead to Me by Nancy Robards Thompson, first in the Sugar Hollow Amateur Sleuth Society Cozy Mysteries. After a public scandal upends her career, Hadley Bradford, a former forensic geneticist, retreats to her hometown of Sugar Hollow, Tennessee, hoping for the second chance she thought she'd lost. Instead, she finds trouble waiting at the very heart of town, inside the Rose and Ivy Inn. When her godmother, Mary's husband, dies under mysterious circumstances, Hadley's old investigative instincts awaken, and so does her fierce loyalty to the woman who is like a second mother to her. As unsettling clues surface and flowers with chilling poems from an anonymous sender appear on her doorstep, Hadley realizes someone is watching, and they don't want her asking questions. The local police would prefer she leave things alone, but Hadley and the newfound formed Sugar Hollow Amateur Sleuth Society have other ideas. With help from a few sharp-eyed allies around town, Hadley and the society begin uncovering truths no one wants brought to light, forcing her to decide just how far she's willing to go for justice. Because even the sweetest towns have bitter secrets, and someone is determined to keep theirs buried. Now, as a forensic geneticist, I get they want to have a job where, and I didn't click on it, she has natural investigative instincts, but that is a highly sought after type of occupation, and even though she didn't do well at that job, whatever happened there, my goodness, she can go anywhere, and high paying. It doesn't ring true, is what I'm saying. Bobby says, good morning, PK. Good morning. How you doing? Are you getting rest? Amy says, just plan to read and clean some laundry. Oh, see, that's my plan too. Amy says, good morning, Bobby. I hope you're on the mend today. Indeed. And Bobby says, I hope to be over COVID soon. Yeah, just lots of rest, lots of fluid. Hanging by a Thread by Jasmine Webb, 9th in the Mackenzie Owens Mysteries. When a man is found hanging in the coffee shop, Mac is happy to leave the case to the authorities. But when the death is ruled a murder, it's clear someone is brewing up trouble. Sophie's boss and the ugly mug owner, Anne, soon emerges as the primary suspect, and Sophie begs her to step in and help find the real culprit. Mac quickly finds out there's more to this man's death than meets the eye, and that he might have died because he was willing to spill the beans on another secret in town, a secret someone is willing to kill over. But will Mac be the next victim, or will she close the case before she's the next one to find herself roasted? End of that row. And Elena says, good morning. Well, good morning, Elena. How you doing? Movies, Milkshake, and Malice by Daisy James, 5th in the Just Desserts Club Mysteries. As Lottie Chadwick whips up her most delicious desserts yet, from Gone with the Whisk milkshakes to chocolat brownies, The Waddling Duck Cafe is buzzing with excitement. Celebrity director Hugo Bradshaw has chosen to film the glitzy wedding scene of the Confetti Chronicles at Sweeting Manor, and the whole village is swept up in movie-themed celebrations. But when the film's leading lady is found dead amongst the roses, the lights dim on the festivities. With rumors spreading faster than melting ice cream and the production facing shutdown, Lottie and her friends in the Just Desserts Club must once again put their sleuthing skills to the test. Can they catch the killer before Little Sweeting's silver screen debut turns into a matinee of malice? Read it to find out. Then it says, I'm good, just finished a lot of books, like 3 books you finished. Good job. And Elena says, hello, Bobby. A Murder in 8 Cocktails by Kelly Mullen. Mix one old flame with a splash of suspicion for the perfect murder. In the seaside haven of Carmel by the Sea, Willa Keene's marriage is in a rut. As a retired interior designer turned influencer, she's sure life begins at 55, whereas her husband, Marty, is more interested in watching his beloved birds. So when Willa is invited to the opening of the chicest new cocktail bar in town, she hopes the evening will rekindle their flame. But arriving at the party, Willa is shaken to discover is being hosted by her charming ex-husband, Paul. The night is thrown into even deeper chaos when the bar's enigmatic drinking game owner is found dead on the rocks below. A suicide message suggests there's no foul play, but Willa's heightened senses aren't so sure. Now she must solve the mystery together with her husband and her ex-husband. Can they find the killer before another victim is served their last cocktail? Well, apparently there's 8 of them. Lemon Hollow Murder by Brittany E. Brinegar, 17th in the Hollywood Whodunit. She traded Hollywood lights for country nights, but murder doesn't care about your zip code. When amateur sleuth Becky Robinson moves into a charming farmhouse in Lemon Hollow, California, she hopes to enjoy a slower pace, complete with citrus groves, clucking hens, and neighbors who wave. But when the heir to the town's most historic orchard turns up dead, Becky finds herself back in the middle of a mystery she can't resist. The victim, Meredith Price, ran her family's citrus empire with a firm grip and a sharp tongue. Known for business deals as sour as her lemons, Meredith had no shortage of enemies. Everyone wanted a slice of the orchard. Now someone may have killed for it. Joining forces with her new neighbor, the medical examiner, Becky follows the trail of inheritance battles, missing corpses, and secrets buried deep in the grove. But the more she digs, the more the idyllic town starts to feel like a masquerade, one hiding scandal, resentment, and betrayal behind every sunny smile. Can Becky solve the case before the orchard's bitter roots claim another life? Or will her fresh start in Lemon Hollow turn rotten? Amy says good morning to Elena. Elena says, my mom just had knee surgery yesterday, so I was not able to join you, but I will make it for tomorrow afternoon. Oh, hope your mom's doing okay. She recovers well. They do those a lot, so she's probably doing very well. Spell to Pay by Ellen Wren Burke, 2nd in the Spelled Book Mysteries. Kinley Pagerite is certain the worst has happened. She slipped and accidentally asked her friend's pocket-sized dragon to be her wedding date instead of the witch himself. Okay. Kinley is certain everything else will go according to plan, and her loyal friend Azura will have her fairy dream wedding until the threats start trickling in. From one wedding event to the next, the danger escalates, and it soon becomes clear they're not dealing with a harmless prank. They're dealing with a dangerous criminal who will do anything to get the wedding called off, including injure those Kinley holds dear. With a petty new detective on the case who proves less than helpful, Kinley must investigate with the help of her sentient bookshop, exuberant feline familiar, and quirky friends. Soon, Kinley will be forced to rely on magic that hasn't exactly been cooperating. But whether or not her magic steps up, Kinley is certain of one thing. There will be spell to pay for messing with her chosen family. End of that road. I have thoughts about that, but I'm not going to say them. Murder at the Queen's Head Inn by A.S. McClatchy. 9th in the Solent Island Mysteries. A couple's getaway feels like a big step for Jenny and Remy, but especially so when the whole of Solent Island is watching your relationship like hawks. They're booked in for a relaxing week at a cozy countryside pub, the Queen's Head Inn. Or it would be relaxing if a mysterious case wasn't swirling in both of their minds. 3 men, all married and aged between 50 and 60, killed within the last month with no suitable suspects. So when a 4th man, Bill Garland, is killed in the town where they're staying, his wife asks for their help, and they must dive headfirst into the mystery. No, they don't have to, but that's kind of a pretty cover. Danger at the Sheepdog Trials, 2nd in the Northwoods Knitting Mysteries by Amelia Pine. When Frosty Pines, Wisconsin hosts its annual Sheepdog Trials, yarn shop manager Julia Holmes expects nothing more dramatic than a few tangled leashes and some overexcited border collies. Instead, the festival comes to a screeching halt when flashy dog toy mogul Marty Kessler is discovered dead beside a shepherd's crook, a squeaky toy shoved in her mouth, and a very long list of enemies nipping at her heels. With her sharp-eyed Australian shepherd Blue sniffing out trouble, Julia and the Maple Hill Knitters dive into a mystery tangled with rivalry, greed, and secrets the town would rather keep tucked away. But when a second body turns up and a break-in shakes the community, Julia realizes someone is using the trials as the perfect cover for murder. To stop a killer hiding in plain sight, Julia will need her wits, her friends, and a few well-timed knitting needles, and one very determined sheepdog. Amy says, I hope your mom recovers from knee surgery to full mobility, Elena. Indeed. Frosted Fatalities. That sounds like a cereal for adults. Have a bowl of Frosted Fatalities by Rosie A. Point. 1st in the Morsel of Murder Cozy Mysteries. When Lily moves back to Plum Falls after losing her job as a journalist, she's ready for a fresh start in the family bakery. The town is known for its festivals, trails, ski resorts, and cavern tours, and Lily can't wait to take her crow friend Sir Edgar Allan Crow on a hike. Instead, she's roped into an online town council meeting where every member is on an ego trip and tensions about the butter sculpting festival are bubbling over. As it does. After Lily is kicked from the call for suggesting a disruptive member be muted, she vows she'll never attend a meeting again, especially when the head of the town council, Dane Bartholomew, shows up in the bakery looking for a cupcake and a fight. One bite of the cupcake later, and Mr. Bartholomew is dead on the floor, and Lily is the prime suspect. With the local sheriff and ex-detective on the case, Lily is worried that the bakery might suffer, and with the investigative chops to figure out who was bitter about the butter, Lily's putting her sleuthing hat on. So, okay, so, oh, and I didn't click on it. I'm so sorry. We'll leave that there for a minute. I'm off my game this morning. Twice now I've forgotten to click on it. Final Exam Felony by Lena Turner, 5th in a Spencer University Cozy Mystery. When controversial academic Dr. Warren Prescott is found dead in the rare books room at Spencer University, the door is locked from the inside and everyone on campus had a reason to want him gone. Prescott spent his career exposing fraud at universities, and his visit to Spencer during finals week has rattled every corner of the administration. English professor Olivia Little was there when the police arrived, and she can't shake the feeling that something about the investigation is wrong. 5 people had key cards to that room. One of them is dead. And when the police arrest a nervous committee chair whose timeline doesn't add up, Olivia finds herself doing what she always does, asking questions nobody wants answered. With her best friend Polly digging up gossip, her friend Chloe pulling public records, and campus security chief Don Harding torn between helping her and keeping her safe, Olivia follows the clues through faculty grudges, falsified data, and a greenhouse full of poisonous plants. But the real killer is organized, patient, and already planning a way out. Because, you know, key cards can't be stolen or anything like that. End of that row. Oranges and Lemons, second in the Woodstock Mysteries by A.G. Barnett. I like that title. Harold Fenton rang the bells every Tuesday for 40 years. This Tuesday, someone made sure he stopped. Stop ringing the bells. The police see a tragic accident. Hester Croft sees a rope wound too neatly and hands without a mark on them. Harold had been asking questions about the war, about silver that vanished from Blenheim Palace and was never recovered. Now his notebook is gone and his questions have died with him, or so someone hopes. As Hester and Gertie pull at the threads of a conspiracy a decade old, the killer moves to protect themselves, pinning the blame on an innocent man with the one detail only a murderer would know. Oranges and lemons, say the bells of St. Clemens. Everyone in Woodstock owes something. The question is, who's willing to kill to clear the debt? Elena says hello to Amy, and thanks. Stage Left in Somerset by M. Cullers, 7th in the Mill Pond Mortlake Cozy Historical Mysteries. Daphne Noble, soon to be Mrs. Daphne Gainsworth, and her beloved Mr. Gainsworth are all aflutter when their dear friends Mr. and Mrs. Bell visit from America with a musical that's touring London and leave behind Sir Sebastian Fitch, the rising theatrical star and playwright. How fortuitous that he is between parts and seemingly short on inspiration and thus free to lend a hand with the annual Christmas panto. Soon the village is caught up in theatrical fever, since it's for the good cause of showing up the rival town of Shrewsbury. Last year, Shrewsbury stole their pantomime, but this year, Somerset will be stunned when the village performs an original play written by the famous Fitch. With Daphne and Mr. Gainsworth's peculiar talents suddenly in demand, and Shrewsbury sweating for last year's sins, it might be the best Christmas the village has ever seen. Oops, that is, until Sir Sebastian is found dead after a dramatic exit stage left, and very uncharitable secrets begin to emerge about the cocky playwright and his invalid wife. Can a murder be solved and the third act survive a rewrite? The play is the thing. Daphne and John must catch a killer or see an innocent young actress swing. A Dash of Haunting by R.K. O'Brien, 2nd in the Eclectic Enchilada Mystery Series. Life is finally settling down for Mimi Lucas. The Eclectic Enchilada is thriving. West Haven feels like home again, and the restaurant's resident ghosts are mostly behaving. But when a long-hidden ledger resurfaces, calm quickly gives way to curiosity. Years ago, kind-hearted ghost Esther hid the book to protect herself and others. The ledger quietly documents financial misdeeds tied to a long-deceased businessman, someone whose spirit still lingers nearby and would rather keep old secrets out of sight. He's not exactly frightening, just stubborn, meddlesome, and far too interested in reclaiming what was once his. As odd little mishaps ripple through the restaurant and town, Mimi teams up with her ghostly companions to uncover the truth behind the ledger before it causes real trouble for the living or the dead. Set in cozy West Haven and centered around a beloved takeout restaurant, this book serves up blah blah blah. Oh dear. Ghost Barkers by Jeannie Wickerly, 10th in the Spellbound Hound Magic and Mystery Series. Toby is the magical talking dog with a problem. Actually, several problems. Clarissa's favorite teapot has suffered an unfortunate magical incident, and it turns out the money to replace it is surprisingly difficult for a dog to earn. After careful consideration, Toby settles on the perfect solution: a ghost exorcising business. With the reluctant assistance of Sal, a rat whose bravery has strict limits, and a magical phone that translates barks into human speech, Toby launches Ghost Barkers, Sun Valley's newest paranormal investigative service. Their first job is a tea room where strange things have been happening: whispering voices, wandering butter pats, and a distinctly unpleasant slime ghost dripping from the rafters. It should have been a simple haunting. Then Toby finds a body in the freezer. Suddenly Toby is dealing with a murder investigation, a feud between rival chutney makers, and Buck Tanner, a loud American detective ghost who insists on helping whether anyone asks him to or not. As Ghost Barkers is going to survive its very first case, Toby will need to untangle a murder, manage a slime ghost that refuses to behave, and persuade Buck Tanner that firing imaginary guns indoors is not helpful, which is a lot for a dog who only wanted to replace a teapot. End of that row. I also have thoughts about that, but I'm not going to say them. There's a book for everybody. And sometimes you just want something a lot lighter. Tick-Tock Tangled Trickery, say that fast 5 times, by Elise Gray. 3rd in the Echo Mountain Mystery Club series. A not-so-ordinary antique at Echo's Past Antiques proved it could be more than tell a story. It could spark a mystery waiting to be solved. A stranger entered carrying a battered wooden case. Inside is an ordinary mantel clock secreted away for decades. Its purpose? To reunite the heirs of a long-lost love. Its rumor? Whispers of a cold case where a missing body was never found. Elias Morton, a brilliant clockmaker, mysteriously vanished 40 years ago, leaving debts to the wrong kind of people, Danger and Millie Brown, who never stopped waiting. Now Claire must locate Elias's heirs while navigating a tangled web of lies, misdirection, and nefarious elements. She's led to a man who seems to know more than he tells, but tells more than Claire wants to know. There are some watching who are willing, able, and have already killed for the clock. Will Claire solve the puzzle or become the next missing person in the cold case files? The bell's about to ring, and we made it to the end. We looked at every single one this week. That is fantastic. I love that for us. Amy says that looks like Slimer. I think that's not a coincidence. I think they just skirted the edge. Well, that is it for today. Hope you guys have a good Friday. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern for 5 hours. Next week, we'll look at a whole new set of newly released books. So, if I don't see you, please have a good weekend. Be safe. Be cool or warm, whatever your weather is crazily doing. Read good books. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.